The average new car payment in America is now over $700 a month. Every single car on this list costs less than 1 year of those payments and will still be running when that new car is in the junkyard. Here are 10 dirt cheap cars nobody buys. But they're perfect for seniors, and they'll outlast every new car in the showroom. And yes, there are 2 Lexus models in this video, and one of them costs just $8,500. The used market has a blind spot, and it's the same one I showed you in my video about the cheap trucks that everyone right now is ignoring. It prices cars on image, not on substance. A careful retiree's garage queen with dealer stamps in the service book sells for beater money just because the badge isn't cool. Today, that blind spot becomes your bargain. I'm Jason. I've spent most of my life around cars, and this list is the closest thing to free money the used market has left. No sponsors, no kickbacks. Nobody's paying me a cent. 10 dirt cheap cars nobody buys, ranked all the way up to the king of the forever cars. And that number 1 might be the last car its owner ever needs to purchase. 10. Buick LeSabre, 2000-2005. $3,000 to $6,000. That's what America's ultimate grandpa car costs today. And underneath the soft velour and the column shifter sits one of the most durable American engines ever built. The LeSabre runs GM's legendary 3800 V6, an engine so understressed and so proven that mechanics routinely see them sail past 250,000 miles on nothing but oil changes. GM built that engine for 3 straight decades, over 25 million of them, and every part for it costs pocket change. And because the typical owner drove it to church, the pharmacy, and back home to the garage, low-mileage pampered examples are everywhere. Add a trunk the size of a studio apartment, dirt cheap insurance, and a ride that floats over potholes like they're rumors. The homework, it's a time capsule inside. The handling is pure ocean liner. And the 3800 has one known weak point, the plastic intake manifold gasket. Most have been fixed by now, so just ask for the receipt. Do that, and $3,000 buys you a decade of transportation. But the LeSabre's real problem is that its badge is slowly fading from memory. The next car wears the most trusted badge on Earth. 9. Toyota Camry, 2002-2006. There's a reason taxi fleets, driving schools, and careful retirees all landed on the same car. The 2002 to 2006 Camry at $4,000 to $7,500 is the gold standard of what lasts. The 4-cylinder is one of the most produced, most understood engines in automotive history. The V6 is even smoother. And the whole car was engineered around one single idea: never surprise the owner. Parts cost pocket change. Every mechanic on the planet knows it blindfolded. And 300,000-mile examples aren't trophies. They're Tuesday. One honest note, some of these 4-cylinders develop a taste for oil as the miles pile up, so check the dipstick history and walk away from any example that can't prove regular changes. And if you want extra insurance, hunt the V6 versions. Smoother, barely stressed, and usually owned by the most careful buyers of all. Find a clean one from an older owner, and you've bought the most predictable car money can buy. Now, what happens when you take that exact recipe and stretch it into a living room? Toyota answered that question, and almost nobody was paying attention. 8. Toyota Avalon, 2000-2012. The Avalon is the car for people who wanted a Buick but trusted Toyota. And that combination created one of the most overlooked bargains in America. For $4,000 to $11,000, depending on the year, you're buying Toyota's flagship sedan. A stretched Camry with limousine legroom and a ride tuned for napping passengers. And from 2005 onward, it packs the 3.5-liter V6. Remember that engine, because it's going to come back on this list. It's one of the finest V6 ever put in a production car. Smooth, powerful, and famously capable of monstrous mileage. The wide year range is your friend here. $4,000 buys an honest early one, $11,000 buys a late loaded example that still feels modern. The catch? There isn't much of one. It's invisible, it's unfashionable, and valet drivers will forget where they parked it. That's the whole reason it's cheap. But sedans aren't for everybody. Some folks need to haul grandkids, dogs, and 40 bags of garden soil. And for them, there's a mountain goat on this list. 7. Subaru Forester, 2010-2013. The Forester is what happens when practical people design a car for practical people. For $6,000 to $10,000, you get standard all-wheel drive, greenhouse glass visibility that seniors adore, and a boxy shape that swallows more cargo than SUVs twice its price. And it's the safety-first pick of this list. This generation aced its crash tests, sits high enough for easy entry, and handles snow like it was born in it. Because, essentially, it was. That's why you'll find them owned by retired teachers in mountain towns, serviced on schedule, never abused. But this one comes with real homework, and I'll give it to you straight. The earliest year can need head gaskets, and some of the later engines developed an appetite for oil. Neither is a deal breaker. Both are well-known, well-documented, and easy for any mechanic to check before you buy. A Forester with a verified clean engine history is a 15-year companion. One without it is a gamble. And if all-wheel drive isn't a must for you, the next car trades it for something even rarer. An engine with basically no homework at all. 6. Honda CR-V, 2007-2011. If engineers voted on this list, the CR-V might win it. For $7,000 to $11,000, this generation gives you Honda's K24 four-cylinder, an engine so respected that people pull them out of wrecks just to reuse them. And here's a detail that saves you real money. It uses a timing chain, not a belt. No expensive scheduled replacement, no anxiety at 100,000 miles. It just runs. Add a boxy cargo area, huge windows, a low-load floor, and controls a human can understand without a manual, and you see why careful older owners bought these by the hundreds of thousands. The honest checklist is short. The air conditioning compressor is this generation's known weak point, so blast the AC on your test drive and make sure it blows ice cold. And if it's the all-wheel drive version, ask when the rear differential fluid was last changed. That's it. That's the whole list. And because Honda sold these by the boatload, the pick of the litter is yours. Hold out for a one-owner example with records, because they're out there in numbers. Halfway there, and the next 5 include the car from this video's thumbnail. While we're at it, help me out. Hit the like button and subscribe. On to the top 5, this is where the real gold is. 5. Lexus ES350, 2007-2012. Here it is, the $8,500 Lexus from the thumbnail. Lexus is Toyota's luxury brand, and the ES350 is, underneath its leather and its whisper-quiet cabin, a Camry and Avalon in a tuxedo. Same proven bones, same magnificent 3.5-liter V6 you just heard about. Which means you get genuine luxury with Toyota running costs, and any independent mechanic can service it without a second thought. And this is the ultimate senior special. Bought new by doctors and retirees, serviced at the dealer on the dot, garaged, and driven gently for 15 years. Within its $8,000 to $13,000 range, an $8,500 example is the sweet spot. Old enough to be cheap, new enough to feel like money. One quirk to know, some of these years had dashboards that turned sticky and shiny in hot climates. Lexus replaced most of them under a program, so just look at the dash before you buy. Your eyes will tell you everything. From Japanese luxury to American law enforcement. Because the next car on this list spent its life chasing criminals, and that's exactly why you want one. 4. Ford Crown Victoria, 2009-2011. The Crown Victoria is the last of a dying breed. A full-size V8, body-on-frame American sedan, the same construction as a pickup truck, wearing a suit. For $7,000 to $14,000, you're buying the car that police departments and taxi fleets trusted with millions of the hardest miles ever driven. And that trust was earned. The 4.6-liter V8 is one of the most proven American engines of its era. The body-on-frame design shrugs off abuse that would total a modern car, and everything on it was engineered to be fixed fast and cheap, because fleet downtime costs money. By these final years, most Crown Vics went to fleets, which sounds scary until you realize fleet cars come with the one thing used buyers dream about: complete, documented maintenance records. The honest trade. The V8 drinks fuel like it's 1995, and it handles like the sofa it resembles. But enthusiasts call this the Panther platform, and there's an entire community keeping these alive, which means parts and knowledge will never be a problem. Find a pampered civilian example, or a documented low-mile fleet unit, and you own the closest thing to an indestructible American sedan ever made. But if a V8 land yacht is more car than you need, the next one is the reason half the driveways in America look exactly the same. 3. Toyota RAV4, 2006-2018. $6,000 to $18,000. That's the widest price window on this list, because the RAV4's golden era stretches across 2 entire generations, and every single year of it is worth buying. This is the compact SUV that quietly became America's default car. A chain-driven four-cylinder that refuses to die. Easy sightlines, easy entry, and running costs that barely register. And here's the sleeper secret almost nobody knows. The earlier generation offered a 3.5 V6 option, a family SUV with genuine muscle, hiding in plain sight at four-cylinder prices. Some of those years even hide a small third row, a seven-seater for $6,000. The honest note, the earliest years with the older four-cylinder can burn some oil too, so the 2009 and up engine is the no-questions pick. 2 left. And the next one breaks the unwritten rule of this entire list because it's the one grandpa car that's actually fun to drive. 2. Mazda CX-5, 2013-2021. Every other car on this list earns its spot by being sensible. The CX-5 earns it by being sensible and making you smile, which might be the rarest combination in the cheap car world. For $8,000 to $17,000, Mazda gives you Skyactiv engines that are chain-driven, high compression, and famously dependable. This thing consistently ranked among the most reliable compact SUVs of its entire era. But then Mazda did something the others didn't. They made it steer like a sports sedan, look like it costs double, and feel special every single morning. And that's exactly why it's the smart buy for a younger driver rating this list. All the senior car virtues, reliability, low running costs, careful previous owners, without the senior car personality. The honest notes are almost embarrassing. A bit more road noise than a RAV4, a bit less cargo space. That's genuinely the whole complaint list. One car left, the King. And if you've been paying attention to the engines in this video, you already know what's under its hood. 1. Lexus RX 350, 2010-2015. And here it is. The king of the forever cars, the Lexus RX 350. For $12,000 to $18,000, you're buying the most dependable luxury SUV of its generation. The vehicle that topped reliability surveys year after year, while its German rivals filled workshop bays. And under the hood sits that 3.5-liter V6 for the third time on this list. The same engine from the Avalon, the same engine from the ES350. 3 appearances isn't a coincidence, it's a pattern, and that pattern is the whole secret of this video. Because the RX 350 is the complete senior special formula in one car. Toyota engineering wearing a luxury badge, bought new by careful retirees, dealer serviced from day one, garaged, and driven gently to the golf course. And here's your extra edge. The RX was America's best-selling luxury SUV for years, which means the used market is flooded with pampered examples. And a flooded market means choice, and choice means negotiating power. That's why 300,000-mile RX 350s aren't rare stories. They're expected. It's not sporty, and it was never trying to be. It's quiet, comfortable, easy to live with, and built to outlast its own owner's driving years. The market chases new metal that loses half its value in 3 years. The smart money buys the RX and keeps it forever. Here's the thread running through all 10 of these. And it's the most valuable lesson in used car shopping. The previous owner matters more than the badge, the mileage, or the year. Every car on this list was bought new by the most careful demographic on the road. People who garage their cars, follow the service schedule like scripture, and accelerate like they're carrying a wedding cake. The market calls them grandpa cars and knocks thousands off the price, and that discount is pure profit for you. One serious note before you go shopping. These cars range from 5 to 25 years old, and condition beats everything. Always get a pre-purchase inspection. Always ask for service records. The senior specials usually come with a folder full of them, and that folder is worth more than any warranty. And in snow states, check underneath for rust. Now, it's your turn. Do you own one of these 10? How many miles has it racked up? And what's the greatest senior car I left off this list? Drop it in the comments. The odometer, photos, the bought it from an estate sale? Stories. All of it. And if this video just saved you $10,000 on your next car, hit the like button and subscribe. Every single one pushes this video to more buyers who need it. And once you know which cheap cars to hunt, you should also know the brand new cars nobody wants right now. just to make sure you stay away from the nightmares. Check out this video right here.